I was wondering why I got invited to this, and I'm hoping that it's not because, being the type of player I was, they assumed that I was a prima donna who wasn't concerned with the outcome of the match from a team perspective, because as a young player, when I first started playing for Watford, the dynamic of the team was the most important thing in terms of the upbringing I had at a club like Watford. Most of you probably don't remember when Watford were the second best team in the country. You may laugh. We finished second to Liverpool in 1983, and Manchester United finished third. And why we did that was because we had a manager called Graham Taylor who endorsed the importance of the team. And if you look at what's going on now in football, the solution to all of the problems is to spend 100 and 200 million every year to improve that. So the whole idea about the individual versus the team, as much as I went to Liverpool with great players, and people may look at me and look at me as one of the superstars of the team, if you like, but in terms of my thought process throughout, the team was always the most important thing. It's a very difficult industry, football, because while we understand that football is a team game, it's difficult to get our head around the fact that it is made up of individuals with different qualities. But for the team to be successful, everything has to work cohesively. And everyone, more often than not, has to buy into that philosophy. And the great teams do, and the great players do. So I use Barcelona as an example. When I'm talking about, I'll talk about three things: Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, Real Madrid and Barcelona, and Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho. First of all, Pep Guardiola says the reason why the team is successful is because of the history and the traditions of Barcelona Football Club, based on Rinus Michels and Johan Cruyff in the past, which I have continued. Jose Mourinho says it's because I'm special. It is a very difficult industry we're in, because first of all, you have to look at, and I say it's a microcosm of life, because I watch Holby City and watch all of these medical programs, and you do have the prima donnas in there, don't you? But my son's a plastic surgeon, and my daughter's a medical student, and I understand, just looking at it, the dynamic of a team is prevalent throughout all industries. Football is at a disadvantage because we all have opinions on football, and the manager, unfortunately, especially in this day and age, when you have superstar footballers, it's difficult to get that idea over to him. But what a manager has to do when he's talking about the team, he has to have a vision in his head as to how he wants his team to operate. Then what he does is he brings 11, well, it's more than 11 because you've got a big squad. You bring 11 to 20, whatever the squad is, in, and you put them in these positions, and you say, this is what we have to do for the team to be successful. I'll give you an example in football. You have centre forwards who could score 40 goals a season and be the top goal scorer, but his team gets relegated and he has been successful. But the team hasn't been successful. So it's to do with your interpretation of what success is. And in football, you can have lots of individual successes, as we've seen in the England team, either from a financial or from a kudos point of view, where we are told how great these players are. But of course, we've come home from the World Cup after 1 week. But they are continuing to be successful. So it really depends on what your interpretation of success is. Now, I started talking about Watford, and I mentioned Barcelona. And while we talk about, we all assume that the I in the team, we're talking about the superstar players. But there are 11 I's in the team, and the right back, who is terrible, he's part of the I in the team. He's also an individual. But unfortunately, we look at the success that we get, and what we do, or the team gets, and what we do is we attain that success to certain people. If you have an attitude like that, that absolves the players of responsibility in terms of, when we lose, it's not our fault, but when we win, it's our fault. So the dynamic of managing the team now is much more difficult for the manager, because if you look at the dynamic of a football team now, you have so many people making so many decisions as to player recruitment, strategy, tactics. It's just incredible. People react differently, and that's such a big part of football. Insofar as the theory behind it, from a tactical level, we can all do that, and we sit on television saying what should be done, what has to be done. But the reality of when you're actually there in 100,000 people or 20,000 people, and that's when it comes down to the individual psychology of each individual. If you don't have that philosophy, what you actually are then doing is you're buying players, individual players, and then saying to them, yes, and they may be great players. They may be great players, and you may get success that way because you have great players. But why that, for me, is not the long-term answer to success, is that what happens if that player then breaks his leg, or if he gets injured, or if he leaves? You can't then, from saying we're the best because we've got Ronaldo and all of these great players, then they leave, and now we need to replace them with great players again. Whereas if you have the philosophy of a Barcelona or Ajax, what you have is you have a system which you rely on, you have individual requirements of each position, And you can then train players to play in those positions, and you can continue to be successful. Because what you then do is you know that your team can be competitive, and you rely on the team, the pattern of the team, the method of the team to be successful, because individuals will come and go, particularly in this day and age when players are going to leave you every 2 or 3 years. But from a business sense, what you really want to do is make a lot of money as they're making. You don't have to spend lots of money on players, and you continue to be successful. And to do that, you need to have the essence of the team. But first of all, you need to have the foresight of what it takes to make a good team. Now, of course, success, as we all may feel in football, is just about winning, but it isn't. It isn't. Because if you can be competitive, as Arsenal have been competitive, make lots of money, as Arsenal are making lots of money, still put on a fantastic product in terms of entertaining people, why can't that be seen as success? So the most important thing is also to recognize the requirements of the team, to appreciate the requirements of the team, regardless of how you view yourself, for the team to function properly, for the team to function as a whole, and for the team to be successful in the true word meaning of the word successful, not just about you being successful, because you will, and you earn more money than other people, whereas, you know, the anaesthetists earn a lot of money as well, anaesthetists. Who are the ones who don't get paid much? The nurses. Appreciating that they have contributed to the team. And that is why, apart from Liverpool, my favorite team who has captured the essence of what teamwork is Barcelona Football Club. Thank you.